Hi guys. Now some of you asked how I'm going to be aging books to make them look like old tomes from like 400, 500 years ago. So I decided to show you what I'm doing. Now, I'm taking new books, like this is a Dean Koontz book, Life Expectancy, and first off I'm taking a fairly strong grit, it's a 60 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to the spine, and I'm taking that lovely gold leaf name right off the book. I don't want to see it there. I don't want to see the little numbers on the bottom, so I'm taking that out. And of course, we don't want to see the name Dean Koontz at all. So I'm going to get rid of that also. Now, you may notice that I'm sniffling. It's because the amount of dust that I'm creating from doing all these books is huge. And it's causing me to have a bit of an allergic reaction. Now, in a couple seconds, this book will have the spine ready. And there you go. Now the book, you couldn't tell what was in it. Now, the book still looks pretty clean. So what I do is rather simple. I take the book, and I give it a good bang on the corners. Just like that. Now in doing that, it bows the book a bit, but it also makes the book look a little older already. Now, I want the rest of the spine to look just as old as the book itself, so with that, I give it some really good whacks against the side of my work table. Now, you see, I've broken the spine a bit here. Well, not the spine, but the book itself. That's okay, I want that. Because, you see, the book has to be old and like it's seen quite a few years of reading. Now, this might seem excessive, you know, but it's not. Trust me, when this is all said and done, this book will look more like one of these books, which, by the way, looked brand new when I started. So these books aren't even finished yet. There's still more to the process. But what I'm doing right now is just preparing this book so you can see, you know, exactly how I age a book. Now, the pages aren't aged yet. That comes to the next part. You need a large pot. I've taken some Tetley tea and I'm putting 3 bags in, 3 new bags. These old bags are from the previous session. And I'm now going to add the hot water. And you basically want to hit the bags with the hot water so that it gets all the tea out as quick as possible. And you just keep on doing that until your bowl is full. And I'm just going to keep on pouring here. And once that's done, you let it steep. Now, steeping will take, you know, a couple minutes, so I'm going to turn off the camera for that time period. And there we go. Then we'll move on to the next step. All right, now, this is steeped for about 3-4 minutes, and the tea is pretty dark. So what you want to do now is you want to get a good thick brush, like this one here, and you want to get into the spine here and work your way towards the front. Now, what you're doing is you're basically going into the book like this to yellow the pages. You don't want the pages to look new or white. You want them to look old. Now, there's more to it than just that. You're going to want to go to the cover too, and just let the tea water kind of like saturate the book. That'll actually take and lift some of the cloth on the book and make it a little more old and bowed looking. You got to get the spine, the sides, the back. It's all very important to make it look real, you know, if you want it to look old. Now, the pages are now just yellow, but they don't look old. So what you do is you open up the book to the very back page, and you lay down T. Then you go about 20 pages in, and you do the same again. When you do this over and over again, eventually, the book starts to bow and look really old and ancient. But this is only part of the process, like there's still more to come. Oh, goodness. One of the other things you can be doing, and you should be doing, is wearing a mask to kind of filter out the dust that's created by these old books. Like, these aren't old books, but I mean, right when you start to sand the spines on these things, it brings up some pretty heavy-duty, old, papery, pulpy dust. Some of these books aren't as new as others. Like, some of these books are maybe 40 years old, not older. I don't think I have anything here that's over 50 years old. Maybe I do. That being the case, I don't have to do much aging with those, which is nice. Now, as you can see, I'm going every 15 to 20 pages and flipping and then adding. See, I'm not hitting the middle very much because that's never going to be seen. The book's always going to be closed, unless you have a book that's open, but then you want to completely do a page that is specialized just for that, you know, so that the page looks like it's part of whatever you're doing for that moment. This is a slow process, and to think that I have over 100 books I've got to do this to. So this process takes a while, and I'm going to actually just turn off the camera because there's no point in you watching me do a complete book. But this is the next part of the process. I'll show you what happens after this process is done, all right? Now, I've completed the application of T to the book itself. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and I'm actually poking the pages. Now, this is on purpose because when they dry, the pages are going to look really worn out. And, you know, I leave it to anybody's discretion on how much they want to wear their book out. Now, you see, I've already wrecked the spine on this, and some of this is coming off. That does not matter, because ultimately, this book won't be like a book that you're used to seeing in a bookstore when I'm done with it. It's actually going to look very old. So this is that Dinar Coots book that we were just looking at a little earlier. Now it's got a bit of aging to it. Now, there's still more to come. So I'm going to actually bring out a different book that's already half dry, and I'm going to show you the next process, which is the one that I'm actually starting on with a grouping of books that I just finished around an hour ago. They've been drying, and they're almost ready for the next process. There's around 6 to 8 things you can do to the book to make it look old before you're actually done with it. This is just one of them. I, again, am constantly adding my tea because I really want these books to feel like they have some age, like they've actually seen time and everything. Now you can see that's starting to look pretty damned old. And that was a brand new book, like a Dinar Coots book that was probably made last year. I'm quite pleased with how this is turning out. So, bear with me, we'll keep on going with this. It's going to be another process in just a couple seconds. Okay, I've decided to actually take the book that we were working on, which is the Dinar Coots book, and do the extra detailing to it now. Now, it has dried, and it's looking rather old and weathered. And what I did to actually speed up the process was I took a heat gun to the front and back of the book and just heated it up so that it actually dried the paint. Now, you can barely see that probably because cameras are not as good as human eyes, but the actual book now looks moldy, which is what I wanted. And of course, the spine is now very old and aged, and everything looks cracked and used, which is what I wanted. But there are little things you can do to actually make it look even more aged. But this is kind of like a stagey thing. It's something you wouldn't do as much for film if you've got high definition, but it's something that I like. Now this is speckle stone in a can. And first off, you want to make sure it's working, which this one seems to be a little plugged right now. Oh, shoot. We might be SOL on this. Yeah. I'll try this in a second. I'm just going to try and get this thing cleaned up. All right, so I got the can clean. Now, these go for about $9 a piece. This one's pretty well empty. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking the book, and from far away, not close, far away, I'm giving it a light dusting, like this. Now you see, in doing so, it's enhancing the features of the book. Which is very important, because you want the book to be old, decrepit, and you can even take and do a little bit on the pages, because it's lovely. Like, this stuff is not supposed to be used this way, but I found that through trial and error that I can actually do some really interesting techniques with the paint inside of this can. Again, all I'm doing here is going from a little bit away, just like so. And now I've got another piece of aging done to the book. Now, this dries pretty quick. So what you can do is you can actually take and touch this paint while it's drying and create almost a marbling effect on different parts of the page, because this flecking is gray, white, black, all mixed together in a spray. And so when you're screwing around with this, as I am right now, you're creating what looks like more of an old, dusty book without really having to dust it up too much, because ultimately when you're creating something like we're creating, an attraction, the place has to be pretty clean. It can look old and dusty, but the dusting and everything is not real. It's all been done beforehand. So when you come to the Pantheon of Wonders, the detail that you encounter when it comes to the oldness has all been pre-done on our time. So that's how you age a book. This book now looks ancient, and as you can see, if I were to put this up against a real old book, you probably, well, you could tell the difference, because it is what it is. But I mean, it is a very good representation of how to age a book for film, etc. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've had a lot of fun showing you exactly how this worked. There are a couple details that you can do to it. One of the things I might do to the book still is I might take a little bit of copper paint and create the little lines at the top and the bottom, but I won't create them perfectly. I'll actually do them in such a way that they are they're a little kind of like off and spackly and well, I'll probably take a little bit of sandpaper to them and everything after the fact, but that's neither here nor there. This book is done. It's ready for a shelf. It looks like it's been around for a long time. I'm very pleased. And that, my friends, is how you make an old tome that's around 500 years old. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm now going to go and blow my nose one more time. Well, actually, that would be the 50th time in the past 5 minutes. You just haven't seen it happen. I tell you, the amount of dust that's been coming up out of this place is crazy. But I've been keeping the mask off so I could do this for you. Ha! So, my health means nothing to me. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one, and we'll see you again soon. I've got some more things I'll show you in the near future. Thanks.